determined. He's a good player. You know, Zach Claris is the guy that makes that thing go for him. I mean, he's been there for a long time, and you can just tell that he gets people around him to play better around him, and he has, you know, a bunch of energy, has no problem calling people out and getting in people's face, and, you know, he's a good player, and has a couple of good wideouts that make plays, you know, but being able to hand the ball to Pete and get yards is something that is a very, very attractive option for him. You can tell on tape.
Cincinnati appears to be one of those offenses that gets rid of the ball quickly, and you guys have faced a lot of them. You know, in terms of pass rush, you know, how do you pressure him when you know it's going to get out of his hands quick?
You know, beat the guy in front of you. You know, I mean, that's you got to cover people. If you cover people, he has a hard time of getting it out on time. You know, I mean, we do a good job of getting the ball out on time if people are open. You know, teams that match up and play routes good, and, you know, make Gino sit back there and have to throw the ball more downfield because of third and long situations are the times that we get pressured. You know, so our job defensively is to, you know, do a good job of stopping the run, keep that quarterback in check, make sure we tackle. You know, we had way too many missed tackles last week, which that's a mindset. We had way too many missed tackles last week. You know, don't have missed tackles, attack the ball, play with effort, which is what creates turnovers, and you know, get them in third and long situations where we can get after them.
Talk about turnovers there. I believe their turnover margin is leading the league. You talk about how important that's going to be, obviously, for you guys to take care of the ball this week and not give them any extra opportunities.
Seems like we've talked about it every week. We're facing one of the teams that is the top team, one of the top teams in the country in turnover margin. I don't know how that's possible, but every week we're facing one of the teams that's as good as there is in turnover margin. You know, it's how they beat Pitt last week. You know, they forced a couple of turnovers in key situations, which, you know, the turnovers that you see them doing, like Rutgers was really good at getting the ball out. These guys seem to fall into turnovers more because they get 11 guys that play with good effort, that run around and expect things to happen. You know, so you know, we're going to do our best to take care of the football. You know, we turned it over 2 times too many last week. And, you know, as always, that's a two-way street defensively. We got to play with effort, attack the ball, and try to create turnovers.
You've been happy with your ball security there? The turnovers are even, but I know you don't want 14, but it's not an epidemic.
It's not an epidemic. It's a few too many. Mm-hmm. You know, let's talk about the 2 that happened last week. I mean, Bowie got stuck and he dropped the ball. You know, that's on him. You know, the play was where we wanted it. We got him in space, and he dropped the ball. Gino's was a result of him trying a little bit too hard to throw the ball away in a situation where the guy shouldn't have been in his face that quick. That was on our right tackle. Right tackle didn't block down. The guy got there too quick. Gino panicked, and it came out when it shouldn't have came out. So, you know, can they both be corrected? Absolutely. They can both be corrected, absolutely, and that needs to happen.
Dan, your defense has taken a lot of heat from, you know, public and the likes. Yet if you look at it, like you've had 14 turnovers, but 10 have been in your own territory, which puts them at a disadvantage. And you've had a lot of punting problems and return problems during the year too, which meant that they played on a short field. What are your views on the defense and how they played? I mean,
I don't care what situation it is. Your job is to go out there and stop people. You know, all right. Let's take, for instance, the 2 turnovers. You know, were one was in their side of the field, which we did a great job. We threw up a wall. We forced them to a field goal, and that is winning football on defense. That's a great job. Well, the 2 times we shanked the punts, I mean, they still had to go 55 yards and 65 yards. You know, that's not a tremendously short field. That's normal. You know, to the point to where you got to play defense. Keep looking for excuses, and if you keep looking for excuses, you won't get any better. So, you know, there's plenty of ways to spin everything in football, but, you know, I don't buy into that.
Coach, you said after the last game that had there been another punt, Corey Smith would have been taking it. How has that worked out so far? I mean, just one day of practice, but what's the, you know, what does it look like coming in next week?
Yeah, we'll figure it out today. You know, we probably would have went with Corey. You know, which, Corey's done a good job of hanging in there. He kicked off well. His kickoffs were good, and he's continued to practice. And I think everybody would be in the same assumption that everybody was pretty happy with what Molinari did for 8 games, or 7 games. Kid did a great job coming out of nowhere, did a great job, had a bad day. Doesn't mean I'm going to pull the plug on him. Just means he's got to get back to work. We didn't practice Sunday night. We're back today. We'll go today, tomorrow, and Thursday, and we'll figure out, who gives us the best position to flip the field.
But the teams in the Big East, they may be the closest to 50-50. 194 yards a game running, 231. Is that one of their big strengths?
Yeah, looks like it. And again, they got a back that they rely on quite a bit, and they're gonna give him the ball quite a bit, which, if you have a featured back like that, then it tends to, plus the quarterback runs, with having a good back that runs, and then Polaris, a guy that's gonna run the ball, 10 times a game or whatever it is, then probably will even you out.
There seems to be a new special teams issue every week or every few weeks. Aside from simply saying going out and practicing harder, do you look at your special teams and say, we're doing something wrong here, we've got to change?
I don't think there's anything wrong with our schemes. We've studied our schemes, pretty closely. I don't think there's anything wrong with our schemes, and we have as much practice time as anywhere I've been, to focus on these things. I mean, one of the things that comes up quite a bit is depth, which everybody has depth issues. And like I said, we may travel this game with 50 people, but what you got is what you got. You can't make excuses for what you got. You got to play with what you got. I won't make any excuses for that. You got to play with what you got, and if you don't like that, then you need to get to work in the recruiting into things and try to make it a little better.
How many players do you have in the squad? I heard on the radio the other night that W has lost players that they signed from the last 3 recruiting years.
It's probably true. I don't have those numbers exactly. There's probably 115 practicing right now, would be my guess.
Not enough to play with?
Well, 115, we could put a whole bunch of bodies out there. I don't think a whole lot of people would like what they see. There's our look squads are full. Our scout team offense, scout team defense are full of a bunch of guys that try real hard and are doing a good job for this team. But I think we're all in agreement that those guys aren't quite ready to play for whatever reason, whether it's talent, size, speed, getting redshirted. There's a whole bunch of issues for it. There's probably 72 on scholarship right now. You get 85, so we're down on that. We're not down in overall numbers because we've done a good job of getting walk-ons in the program. We could be at 130, which we want to be at 130. The more walk-ons you have in your program that are all helping your team win, the more that you get to pull guys, from those units to help your main units, which, we've exhausted every bit of that. We've taken some guys off scout team and plugged them in there on some of the special teams units in place of some of our second team linebackers and third team linebackers and second team safeties and third team safeties. And we've done that for a reason. So, through the course of time, it'll all get better.
Danny, you mentioned traveling with 55 guys twice now. Not idle chatter from you?
No, I'm pretty serious about it. I tend to say what's on my mind.
That's what I was
I've
asking.
figured that out by now, which that makes some people mad and it gets other people kind of a kick. But yeah, we're going to take who wants to win. We're going to take who wants to, wants to pull for their teammates and who wants to be all in on this thing, and not guys that pout and mope because they're not playing or any of the rest of it. So we're going to be a united team, and the only way I know how to get that accomplished is to make sure we're taking only people that are focused and heading in the right direction.
Any unorthodox things you're thinking of doing this week in terms of getting there, or?
I don't know. Some of that usually just is reaction.
Okay.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.